Hi, I'm Charlotte and I'm a final year animation student and I live to cross stitch. When it comes to my mind, there are a lot of things that constantly go around in my head, which can make it hard to concentrate on anything that needs to be done, which leads to overstimulation and meltdowns. This can be caused by having a change in routine, but sometimes cross stitch is the thing that helps me come back from a meltdown. A meltdown can lead to me being out of the count for multiple days, and I can't deal with the things that seem as easy to neurotypicals. This leads to a sense of shame and unhappiness. Furthermore, when there is a lot of noise, the sound levels will build until the quietest noise is overpowering, and then it builds and builds until I want to run for the hills. At this point, I get my headphones and sit in a dark and silent room under my blankets like a cocoon. This means that I break down tasks into smaller parts so I don't get as overstimulated. This is hard when it comes to university assignments, as there are a lot of components that need to be done in quick succession and things that have short deadlines. Breaking down each assignment can help my brain to focus on what I need to get done with each assignment. However, if I break down these assignments too much and get overstimulated and have a shutdown, it takes me ages to get back on track on working on anything. At times, it can be like my brain is fighting against each other. This can be something that builds and builds over time, and at some point it will lead to a worse meltdown if it isn't mitigated. Everything seems normal and to fit in. This can lead to multiple things, including losing a sense of who I am and a lot of fatigue, as it's hard to suppress the stims and the things that make life more prevalent. This can lead to exhaustion and losing a sense of who I am. This is something that will happen over time, and when it comes to losing yourself due to masking, it can take a long time for people like me to find out who I am. When I get to cross stitch, I can express who I am through my artwork, as there isn't always a clear pattern and you can do whatever you want. This makes me feel like I'm finding a way to see myself for who I am, but I don't show it to anyone. However, when it comes to my cross stitch, I can find it very confusing when my mind wants me to spend all day cross stitching and blank everything else. This is when I find it too hard to get something done, and the garden in my mind is overgrown, and I can find it hard to get anything else done. This is when I must hide and try to do something that is creative, and so I can get on with the work that I need to get on with. When I start to cross stitch, it's like nothing else matters. I can sit there and lose myself within it for hours. Everything that's been on my mind just dissolves, and the next day the problems that I have seem much smaller. As time goes by, though, during the course of the next day, the new problems that I have come across seem big again, but then I remember that tonight I'll get to cross stitch again, and all the problems that seem so hard to deal with will be easier once I cross stitch. Cross stitch also is a way that I can help something that is 2D and lack of colour be slightly more 3D and add colour to something. It's almost like I start off feeling really overwhelmed, but then when I have my cross stitch, I found myself I've started to make sure that I see the positives within the world. Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm a final year animation student and I love to cross stitch.